So one of the really lovely things you can do with the distant healing, that isn't your traditional sense of sending something to somebody through your hands, right, or through intention, or through another object, a photograph, or a t-shirt, something that represents or is part of them, is to send Reiki into the future or the past for something that you're intending or a decision you're trying to make, for, say, an event that you'll be doing, public speaking, music, something that you're playing, and you want to send some energy forward. And so there's, for me anyway, there's two really nice aspects to this. One is that it's a mindfulness element, right? So it's intentional. You're like carving out a space, right? It's partly visualization, because you're carving out a space energetically, physically, creating a box to put this thing that you're working on. We'll just put it there, to put that in, right? So you're already creating this really cool dynamic around that, which means you're already putting this positive energy into it. And we know, right? We know that's a helpful technique across any genre of energy work or mindfulness or meditation, any kind of visualization work. It's all within that same realm. So now it's like a container, a held space for this. And there's already energy going towards it. And then in order to maintain this really positive energy and really fill it up with that fluid love and light, then we send that Reiki into it. So for instance, for some of the envisioning I've been doing business-wise, really getting clear about my intentions, about where I've come from this past 20 years, and how I want my clients to understand that when I go to do a guided meditation, or I go to do a video like this, which it's really weird for me to talk in videos like this, I'm still getting kind of used to it, then what I can do, and what I do often do, I don't do it every time, but oftentimes, especially if I'm just feeling sort of, odd about it, like I just need more clarity or more energy behind it, I call upon that space, I create that space, and then I send the Reiki into it. So for this video, for example, let's just walk through it as if I'm getting ready to do this video. So I want to do this Reiki series where I am bringing to light some of the little practices that I use on a daily basis, and some of the ways you can use Reiki on a daily basis that you may or may not think of. And so in doing that, if I'm envisioning this video, I see it. I see it in my mind. Maybe I see my computer. Maybe I see the symbol of a video. And for me, it's pretty quick to attach to a visualization and sit with it. I know that doesn't work as well for everyone. So if you want something more physical, you could, I'll just take this and do this. You could do something as simple as writing it out on a piece of paper. I'm going to write Reiki video. So, I don't know if you can see that. It says Reiki video, probably backwards. And I might write my intentions down here for you. You can get as detailed as you want with it. But the most important thing really is that we're sending that energy forward into the space. So if you need to do this with a paper or a emblem, something that represents what you're going to be doing, by all means go ahead and do that. For me, I'm just going to take this concept and I am going to center that and place it in my hands, in a sense, right? So we do our Reiki symbols in our hands. You can draw the Shokure and the Seiheki and the Honchaze Shonen in each hand. And then I like to really just see the Honchaze Shonen right here in the middle, in between my hands. And whatever way is comfortable. I do find there is something magical about this prayer position. It's comfortable. It just feels like it energetically brings things together. I've got this called in. I've got the sense of this video in mind, and I am sending that Reiki energy there. So I'm just going to sit with that for a minute. And eyes closed or open, that's up to you. I just, I get a lot through all of my senses, and sometimes I want to just tune into a few senses, and so by by closing my eyes, I can give a chance to really feel what's going on through my hands, and then see my visions that come right more third eye behind into the crown. I can see those better than when I have my eyes open. So now, in this instance, what I'm feeling is the heat build up in my hands. I'm feeling that energy go towards this video, which is what I've chosen for this activity as a demonstration for you. And I actually see myself sitting here just like I am now. I'm watching what colors are swirling around me, quite a few, so I'm just sort of letting those build and flow. I watch the concerns that come up. I love to speak to things naturally, so I don't like to prepare a script. My concern is always that I'm going to run off point. Sometimes it's important to build a script, sometimes not. This series is more free form, so when I see that it's coming up over here, I can either put my hands here and send more, actually send the shokure symbol in there, and I'll send that to this sort of splotch, this spherical splotch of energy that's building. And I send the seiheki because I see there's an emotional component to this. And what I see is just, it's starting to dissipate. And I see that it's exactly what I've been working on for a while now, right? These concepts of being enough, just as I am. And letting some of those wounds that have been healing for a long time from childhood just sort of continue closing. And the nice thing about this, right, is it is love and light. It's full acceptance of the fact that that's part of me right now. That's still a piece I'm working with. Is it full acceptance? I'm good as I am, right? There are some amazing, powerful speakers out there who have different tangents they take to things, and I love that, and I learn a lot from them. While at the same time accepting that this is a very organic way of approaching things is also me, and that is also wonderful. And so in that distant Reiki element, you know, that love and light is also just sending out the acceptance. It will be as it will be. It will be okay as it is. The people that want or need this will respond to it. Those that don't, that need something else, will find something else. And there's no holding on to or concern or judgment, just a sense of that's the way it's right. And so what I feel is this sort of conglomerate of energy that was building there around this is now dissipating, and I don't have to worry about that. And so I just sort of feel like I'm brushing that off. So I've moved from holding this in a container in my hands and sending this into the future to actually working with my body, since I'm the one I'm envisioning here in this space, brushing things off. Feels good to hold a little more Reiki this way, sort of sending and moving those colors around me. Again, I kind of feel the whole Hanshaze Shonen, the whole Distance Reiki Healing symbol here. And so I just feel like holding this space right here. This is how I'm best sending the energy forward into the future. Now, obviously, I'm here right now with you doing this. So there's another component that I'll just add in, which is that in the moment, you can use Reiki to do this. And again, it's very much a mindfulness, in the now technique, which is what, you know, Reiki is, just for today, in this very moment. You know, we'll let go of worry, we'll let go of fear, we'll let go of anger, we'll be present, and we'll honor what's here. You don't have to be anything other than you are with Reiki. You don't have to be anything other than what you are with mindfulness, with any form of just being present. So now here I am with you doing this video, and I find that by doing this whole distant Reiki piece, I've actually sort of created a really nice space here that feels safe and healthy, and has cleared out those pieces. And so I'm going to continue to do that as I talk to you. I'm going to continue to just notice the things that come up around me, and as they do, any fears, I just put that Reiki, that distant Reiki love and light towards that, and that allows it to clear while I'm talking to you right now. So not only is this something you can send into the future, like I said, for events that you're going to do, speaking events, for questions you have. So if you have something you're working on, something you're trying to come to figure out, again, sometimes it's very helpful to write that down, obviously, to start clarifying to begin with, and then put the Reiki, the distant Reiki, into that, and let that work itself through, and let yourself sit in that space until something feels resolved. And that can look a lot of different ways, and you might do this multiple times, just as it is with anything that clarifies itself in layers, right? So I might sit here if I'm working with some of this business design, as I have been, and say I'm working with coming up with a name for my business. As I was really working through this, I want, so I'm thinking of this, what do I want to name it? I've maybe written some things down on a paper, I'm holding paper I've written on here, and I'm just letting that energy flow. And then, you get to points you just feel, sometimes there's the epiphany, right? Sometimes the name comes in that. Sometimes you feel Reiki guides coming in and saying, hey, remember me? Or, hey, I'd like to introduce you to me, and this is who I am, and this is what you need to know about this issue. Or like right now, it's just tons of heat building up as I still consider this idea and what it is. For me, I've been past working on reclaiming business names and all that good stuff, and really I'm just at this point focusing into what it is I want this to be, how to best fulfill, all the higher levels of love and light and consciousness that I'm interested in working with. And what I feel is that flowing in here. So I let that flow, and I let that inform me. And if that is with images, great. If that is with a sense of just built energy, wonderful. So I guess that's what I want to get back at. Sometimes you'll get very clear sense or answer about your questions pretty immediately. Sometimes you'll work at this several times while things are clearing themselves out and clearing out in layers, right? And you'll find that clarifies over time. And sometimes, and always, part of this is that you're putting your energy and intent into that space, so into this thing that I love and is part of me. And you feel that build, and there is just a warmth, a peace, a comfort that comes from doing that. So sometimes even if you're not looking for particular answers, but you just feel like you want to put more energy back into something you're working on, this can be a great way to very tangibly, physically manifest and hold energy there and allow it to work on all those higher levels and inform you and infuse you and feed you with it. So if I was to do a little recap of that, basically distant Reiki can be used through time, time and space. Interesting, fascinating concepts we won't go into here, but okay, you can get really metaphysical on this. You can send forward into time and consider questions you have, decisions you want to make, something you're trying to clarify, events you'll be attending, singing. When I'm singing, I can send that through and see myself and really provide Reiki into that. And then in the moment, you can call that up again and feel that again. And so you've already cultivated and created this space, and then you just, continue to raise that and bring that up, and it's already embedded through you, like cellularly, this whole matrix is already embedded through you. So you're just calling that back up, remembering that state, and allowing yourself to flow more deeply into it. A final comment then, I mentioned it at the beginning, I think, and I'll just mention it again, and maybe we'll do a different one on that, but you can use this then obviously going in the past, and I use that with clients all the time as well. So let's do a different session on that. For now, we'll just focus on those things that as we send it into the future, what that is. And we'll do another session on sending things into the past. You get into some different elements there. If you have any questions, let me know. I do best with questions because that's when I know if I'm making sense or if I'm being too vague, or if there's just something that this brings up that you want to know more about. I'd love to dive into discussion. So just let me know, and thank you.